Hello, and whoa, that was already a pretty abrupt way to start your thing off. Welcome to the Trans Nation Formula 1 World Championship F2 category qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix Round 1 of the championship. I'm Keenan, joined in commentary by Axel Ericson. The wait is finally over. It's time to get underway for qualifying for the Trans Nation Formula 1 World Championship. So first of all, welcome to the commentary box. Guy Tasker, our usual suspect, is away for the next 3 rounds, unfortunately. So Axel Ericson's kindly donated himself to our cause. And who do you think is going to take it out on top? Sorry, just having a bit of a communication error there with Axel there. Axel, mic check. No? Alright. Oh no, here we go.
Mic check.
Yep, so welcome to the broadcast. So who do you think is going to take it out on top today for qualifying for today's?
I don't know, it's going to be pretty exciting. I think a lot of Plebs, a lot of people are expecting that Plebs will do really well this race because he was in F1 last year and he did pretty well. So it's going to be interesting to see where he finishes. Other names like Banana Josh, I think, will surprise everyone in that Sauber. Maybe also Conman 69 or Ryan O'Connor.
Ryan was
very close at the moment.
Ryan was pretty strong at the end of last season, actually. So
yeah, if he had 10 races, he can challenge for the title, I think.
Well, we know Ryan's got a bit of a commitment situation in the way that he can't attend every single race, but I'm sure he'll do well irrespective. Returning to Ferrari after kind of getting ousted from the seat last season in GP2 to Kart 1979, or who we know better as Owen Bennett. So currently, every driver is out on the moment. I think Jordan Dittmer is going to be the first driver to actually start a flying lap, so we're going to stay on board with him and see how he tracks along this 4.35 circuit. I can't remember. I don't actually have my information on that, which could be a bit of a problem for when it comes to the race broadcast. But we'll make do. I think it's early days, so making a few mistakes isn't too bad. So just to show you the list of who's what at the moment. So Addy B11, you'll come to know him as Addy Bettenbow. Conman 69, we've just said, is Ryan Connolly. Plevs, Matthew Plevy. Foreign Recon is Omar Roman. Jordan Dittmer, who we're on board with, Jordan Dittmer. GT King TSJR, he is Amaral Azriaf. Isaac Banana Man is Isaac Murphy. Banana Josh 1, Joshua Law. Of course, we come to know this from the previous season Abu Dhabi race. Don Venzito is Nate Pinkert. Big Mike 46385. Oh, Jordan just got really loose on the turn 11-12 complex, and he's actually backed it off.
He encountered traffic there, so maybe that spoiled his lap a little bit, and then he messed it up completely in the fast chicane.
Yeah, and it looks like he's gone a bit with it now. There's someone else just bringing out the yellow flags anyway. But anyway, Starboy VI is, as we just see, player 0 join the front. Now, Jordan's done a 130-point thing now. Stanley Belrose is getting really feisty on the back of one of the Ferraris, which is actually Ryan Connolly. So that's a bit interesting that they're fighting it out so early in pits. In fact, Stanley decides he's going to dive himself into the pit. So that's Stanley R. Belrose, who is Starboy. Now, Matthew Plevy's gone to the top with a 121.6.
Ooh! The Isaac Banana Man is out. He messed it up completely in the fast left right chicane there.
And of course, thanks to Codemasters getting rid of the ability to see people crashing out. Now we're at a bit of a loss of how we can figure this out. Anyway, Ian Betts.
I saw that.
Well, I suppose if you're there at the time, it's easy to pick up on the crash. So here comes Addy Bettenbow, the winner of the pre-season exhibition race last weekend. What's he going to do? He's going to jump. Nope, he's actually... Looks like it was invalidated
his lap. So, or maybe it was not lap.
Could have been. So anyway, Toxic Gringo, better known as Alex O'Connor, a fellow countryman to you, of course, and then Epic Rimmen, who we're not sure whether or not he's going to get into the session. We know he's just got back into the session. Epic Rimmen is 30 Rimmen, so from Indonesia. So we've got a couple of Australians, a couple of Americans, a couple of New Zealanders, a Singaporean, a couple of Brits, and a Norwegian, and a few Indonesians as well. So quite an interesting lineup of drivers here. Now, Omar Roman in the fence at turn 11 and 12. He's managed to that's an interesting location, but he's managed to pull it off without too much drama. Just trying to actually focus on what his car number is, because I think he hasn't put the right number on, but we'll just...
15.
We've got 3 cars running the number 15, so that's a little awkward, but... so here comes Addy B again. Oh, really? Oh, he's grabbed the fence coming out of the last turn. He's going for it. He still goes to P2 irrespective of that. I reckon that 0.3 of a second he lost in that moment was what the difference was. Now, Alex O'Connor's gone up to P3 with a 23.8, so he's still more than 2 seconds slower than Addy Bettenbauer, but he's still holding down the 3rd fastest time. Whereas people like Joshua Law is on a 24/7, but he's on the super soft. So there are a few drivers playing the long game.
Yeah, a surprising amount actually. I was surprised to see so many using the super softs. I was expecting almost the entire field to start on the ultra softs, but maybe someone will actually abandon the lap on the super softs and actually start with the ultra softs. It's going to be interesting to see.
Now, a lot of people probably expect us to take a little break between sessions, but I think for F2 purposes, I think we'll just carry on as per normal. So once qualifying's done, we'll go straight into the race and see how that plays out. But I think all in all, so far it's looking quite good for the Australian boy looking to take his home Grand Prix win. And that will be could be his second win of his career too. Of course, he won the beta test Bahrain. Actually, no, it will be his 3rd race win. Sorry, he won the Bahrain and the Spanish Grand Prix in the beta test. One on debut for the team, actually. Well, one on debut for Ferrari that season. Moved to Red Bull to partner up with Guy Tasker in the F1 category and finished an impressive 5th in the championship out of 5 cars. Anyway, so the new drive... Oh, and Cameron Betts now to the top with a 120.9. Good job there by the Merc driver. Oh, and there was a bit of confusion there about the pit entry there, because one of the Haas cars, which was actually Omar Roman, slowed down to let Cameron through, and then Cameron slowed down to let Omar through. So a bit of confusion there about who got the right of way. Now, 30 Riemann has now actually got onto the track, so that's good news for 30 there, and I'm sure he'll be looking to try and make up for that lost time. Drivers yet to set a time come down to Isaac Murphy, who of course was in the fence early, Michael Poland, and then Stanley Belrose, who's again stuck behind traffic. Oh, and he spun it! That was a huge moment there, and he was very quick to get out of the way as one of the Ferraris came sliding through, and I think that was actually Riemann. It was, so Riemann very lucky there that Belrose was able to get out of the way in time to avoid an incident. And of course, ghosting is off, so any accidents that happen now, you have to be so mindful, because if you get caught up in someone's accident, well, it's game over. So what can Riemann do? What can the Ferrari driver pull off? Nothing on that lap, so it must have been an invalidation. Although according I've got an interesting glitch. Oh, Toxic Ringo's in the fence. Oh, and just as I say that, Amaral Azriaf just had a really big moment coming through turn 11 and 12 again. So there's a lot going on in this qualifying session.
And I saw that some people who started on the super soft have now switched on to the ultra soft, so they won't be setting a time on the super soft and will be starting on the ultra softs.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are trying to figure out what kind of strategy they want to run, and it's not looking like it's going to be the one stop to this degree. But I mean, in saying that, the one stop on the super ultras to the softs is a possibility, and it's not exactly the slowest strategy. It's just a matter of looking after your tires and not running so many laps on your qualifying run. Now, just looking at the time, so Riemann's having another bit of a drama with his internet. Hopefully that doesn't plague him like it did Mark Trasandi through most of GP3. Now, Joshua Law's improved his time to a 1 minute 22 flat. Now, I wonder if that's he has done a lap actually, so this is his second flying lap on the ultra soft tires. And here comes, and Stanley now goes up to P2. So Mercedes commandeer the front row.
Yeah, very impressive stuff there from the Mercedes boys. It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep the 1-2 throughout the session and start a pole and fill out the first row.
Oh shit, I shouldn't be doing that.
Stanley is taking some interesting lines there.
Yeah, he's taking a bit of a scenic route now. We'll see what Matthew Plevy can do in response to that. The Australian Grand Prix went not quite the way he wanted to last season. It was just one of the Williams going off to the side of the road now. Bernardo Josh has pulled into the place. Oh, and Amaral Azraouf now has a 5-place grid penalty for collision with Nate Pinkert. And Nate's off to the side of the road, driving very slowly. And in fact, Amaral has no front wing, so I wonder what's going on there. We'll just keep an eye on this because it did look a bit dicey. So I wonder if maybe it was a I wonder if it was a first turn incident.
Yeah, possibly one of them was on a flying lap and the other wasn't. So maybe that happened.
Could have been, but either way, another incident in Sector 1 somewhere, but it looks like it could be just a driver slowing down. Starboy is definitely driving quite slowly, so I'm just wondering if maybe he's just looking after his tyres so that he can go for another run. In fact, there's a Ferrari in front of him doing the same thing, and that's Riemann, but I think that's also because Riemann might have... It's just his car's just trundling through because of it being an AI now. So, and
there is Jordan Littner. He's out of the race. He's out of qualifying.
Same spot, 11 and 12.
Yeah, catching a lot of people out today.
So, we're just watching Omar Roman trying to get a good lap out, and he's stuck in 11th place at the moment with a 29.9. Whilst the rest of the drivers just waiting to see something happen here. So here comes Cameron Betts. It's not going to improve this time around. He does actually, he just marginally missed it. He was 6/100th of a second off the pace on that lap.
Four minutes to go, and the Mercedes are still on top.
Yeah,
Travis is the closest to him. He's not even in the same second as them.
So the current order is Cameron Betts from Stanley Balrose, Matthew Plevy, Eddie Bettenbauer, Joshua Law, Amaral Azraouf. Despite crashing out, Alex O'Connor still P7. Ryan Connolly P8. Nate Pinkert in P9. Jordan Dittmer still P10 despite his crash. Omar Roman in P11. Ferdy Riemann in P12. Isaac Murphy in P13 despite not setting a lap. And Michael Poland still P14 with no lap to, or no time to his name. Now, I wonder if maybe Michael thinks it's a long race, so why burn tyres up when you can start on a fresh set of what could be super soft tyres.
People are now going out for their final flying lap. Everyone is out on the track except from Nate Pinkert, actually, and Michael Poland.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like Mike wants to burn a set of tyres.
Yeah, he wants to save the tires and start on a different strategy for the race. Points are being awarded out in the race, not in qualifying, so. Still, if you get front wing damage on lap 1 and you start on the softs, you're in a pretty difficult situation, because if you pit, you have to pit once again. You already used up the soft tires, so you have to balance that out. It's going to be interesting to see who chooses what tire.
Omar in the fence again. Where is that? Is that... Let's have a look on board. Yep, that's turn 11-12 again. Just hasn't been Omar's qualifying today. I'm kind of feeling for him a little bit, but I won't go into too much details as to why. But yeah, not looking good for the for our fellow commentator and Haas driver. We're just waiting to see what's going on with Cameron. Now improves to a 20.7. Here comes his teammate Stanley. What can Stanley do? No improvement. 20 point. No, so Cameron's done. He thinks he's done. Joshua Law's up to P3 now. He's gonna. Oh, that was unfortunate because the car is ghosting, so there's no way around it. So unfortunate for Josh, he won't be able to have another run. Now here comes Matthew Plevy. Is the time looking good? Can he put himself on pole position, or could he at least split the Mercedes juggernaut currently? Here he comes around the last few turns. A 20.7 is what he has to beat. As Amar Azriaf abandons his run. Here we go. Matthew Plevy across the line. Will he do it? Yes! 4/100ths of a second. Matthew Plevy to the top. And Red Bull showing the proud. Stanley goes off. He can't improve. Eddie goes up to a 121.8. Ryan Connolly's finished his lap. He will start from P7. Here comes Nate Pinkert. He'll be one of the last few drivers to try and compete a lap. In fact, he will be the last driver, because unless Matt can improve or Eddie can improve, I don't think there's going to be anyone that really challenges these last few seconds of time. So here comes across the line, no improvement.
We're only waiting for Matthew Plevy to finish across the line.
Well, let's see what he can do. It's definitely not an improved time, so he's
He's going into the pits.
So we'll just go now quickly and have a quick chat to see.
Who are we waiting for?
Could be.
Nate, maybe?
Not sure. No, it's because Matt's gone in the pit, so he has to retire from the session. So there we go. And that's it for qualifying for the F2 Championship. Now, I'm just going to grab a quick screenshot here. So, wait, why am I getting rewards for spectating? What? Oh, no, did I? Oh, no, I can't have. Did you?
I haven't gotten a reward. Maybe it's because you have spectated multiple times.
Maybe. But either way, Matthew Plevy takes pole position for the Australian Grand Prix. We're going to now depart from the session and have a catch-up with some of the drivers. So we'll just